Welcome to No Nonsense Guy SA.
Welcome to the No Nonsense Guy SA, where we apply common sense, call out nonsense, and hold power to account. Even if it means reminding the President of South Africa what a calendar and a map are actually for. In today's topic, did you know that South Africa currently has no official diplomatic representation in the United States? I mean, none. Zip. We have vanished from Washington like an Eskom schedule on paper. And no, it's not an April Fool's joke. It's mid-July, and the joke's on us. Let's unpack the diplomatic disaster that left South Africa completely absent from some of the most important trade discussions we've had in years. Because this one, this is textbook Ramaphosa. Late, quiet, indecisive, and somehow still surprised by the fallout. I'm shocked. So, enter 17Jul25, the special envoy. Let's start with the man who was supposed to represent us. His name is 17Jul25. He's actually the former deputy finance minister turned presidential special envoy to the United States. A title that sounds very impressive until you realize it means absolutely nothing if you're not allowed in the country. That's right. Jonas was denied a diplomatic visa by the USA, and he was rejected outright. Not delayed, not misplaced, flat out, no thanks very much. Now, the US never gives explicit reasons in these matters. They're diplomats, they're not podcasters. But let's connect the dots like we always do. Jonas's name came up more than once during the state capture saga in the Zondo Commission, and his proximity to some very shady Zuma-era dealings likely made Washington a little bit twitchy. Let's be honest, when the Americans, who tolerate quite a bit globally, decide that you're not fit to attend their party, it says something. It's like being banned from a dodgy nightclub. Happened in my time. Except the nightclub is the most powerful economy in the world. And you're still wearing a suit and pretending to represent, wearing a suit and you're pretending to represent 60 million people. Ramaphosa's reaction: if I ignore it, maybe it'll go away. So what did President Cyril Ramaphosa do when it became clear that Jonas wasn't welcome? Well, I am very, very impressed to say that, as usual, nothing. He did nothing. Nada. Zero. Zilch. He's left the post empty. Despite knowing about Jonas's rejection months ago, Ramaphosa didn't bother to appoint a replacement. He didn't reshuffle, reassign, or even rent a billboard saying, sorry, we'll be back soon. He just left the seat open during a time when South Africa desperately needs to be in the room where trade decisions are made. Honestly, you'd get a more decisive action from a WhatsApp group planning a braai in your neighborhood. And we know, South Africans, that Tannie so-and-so wants to bring roasted broekies, but so does so-and-so. Why is this a big problem? Well, besides the obvious, of course, here's why this isn't just a paperwork issue, okay? AGOA, okay, the trade lifeline we're now missing. The United States is currently reviewing the AGOA agreement. The deal, by the way, that allows South Africa and other African countries duty-free, I said duty-free access to American markets. That's right. Billions of rands worth of exports are tied to this. Cars, citrus, wine, things we're actually good at. But guess what? We're not at the negotiating table. While Kenya and Ghana and other countries are busy securing their future, we're not even in the room. In fact, at this point, we'd be lucky to be invited into the parking lot. So investor confidence, is that down the drain? Well, picture being the US or a US investor looking at South Africa. You've already watched us flirt with Russia, waffle on international law, and now we can't even be bothered to send a diplomat to Washington. That's not emerging market risk. That's do not touch with a barge pole territory. Let's look at SA's diplomatic credibility. May it rest in peace. Diplomacy is 90% showing up. The rest is knowing what to say and how not to offend your host's dog. Right now, South Africa is failing at step one. When your absence becomes the headline, you've already lost the argument. Then we look at Ramaphosa, Ramalala. Let's look at his track record. Calm in the face of fire and everything else. Come on, people, let's not act surprised. This is the same president who takes longer to act than it takes for the Hawks to start an investigation into anything. Ramaphosa has a habit of sitting on his hands until the crisis passes, or until public outrage dies down. Well, whichever one comes first. Whether it's Eskom, Pala, cadre deployment, or diplomatic failure, it's the same script. Step one, wait. Step two, say, I've appointed a committee. Step three, say nothing else. And then, step four, act shocked when it all blows up. If inaction were an Olympic sport, Cyril would have a gold medal and still be too modest to collect it. So what's the road ahead? Well, unfortunately, I think it's paved with missed opportunities. So where does this leave us? Well, we risk losing our AGOA trade benefits, which could devastate the local economy and lots of jobs. We look diplomatically unreliable to the world. We're confirming the suspicion that our government cannot be trusted to manage its international relationships with even basic, and I mean basic, competence. The US might not say it aloud, but the message is clear. If you can't even send someone, we can't talk to you. Why should we talk to you at all? Anyway, in closing, South Africa didn't just get ignored. Man, we got benched. And our own coach forgot to send in a sub. All because the president refused to admit the first guy wasn't good enough. It's more than a diplomatic mistake. It's a warning light on the dashboard of a government that simply doesn't know how to steer this country. As always, I'm Warren Herald, the No Nonsense Guy SA. If you want your news without sugarcoating, without the spin, and without the ANC's press office whispering in your ear, you're in the right place. Remember, subscribe, share, and remember this as well. If our leaders won't show up, we better start asking ourselves, what do we do? Cheers until next time. Take care. God bless. I'll chat to you all soon.